No weed or drinks, all I need is you. You keep me above the clouds. I don't wanna come down. My feet don't touch the ground. No pass, you're all I have. I am all for you. No drug can do what you can do. Your love, I am you soon. No pass, you're all I have. I am all for you. No drug can do what you can do. Your love, I am you.
What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of What Words Are Worth. And today I got my lovely, beautiful wife with me, Adanita Ross Johnson, and we're here to talk about her new song that's out right now, High Together. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
So I've done a lot of these shows and podcast episodes, if you've been tuned in. And we always could have done one, but it was like, I don't want to just do it just to do it right like that. So it was more so wait till she got some music out. So she has the song out, High Together, right now, right? Mm-hmm. And you can get it on all platforms, everywhere. It's everywhere. So I felt it was the right time to kind of like catch up with what she got going on. Having a platform, that's what it's all about. She's been on almost all my albums. You may even heard her on, we did a Peabody and Sherman cartoon that was on Netflix, a song called Ferris Wheel, produced by Prince Paul, and she sings on that. And there's multiple other records that's on my album. So if you see Adanita Ross, that's her right there. So I want to get people more familiar with what you do, who you are, and everything. Also celebrating the single release. But let's start from the beginning, right? So where are you from?
I am from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. And all right. I don't know how, but let's go from there with that.
He probably is saying he don't know how because he met me when I was living in Queens. Right. But right. I am from Brooklyn, New York, born and basically raised in Brooklyn. So, but we met in Long Island, SUNY Westbury College is how we met. And by then I was living in Queens.
Right. So she's from Queens, and that's where we met. I met her out in college. So let's talk about your upbringing and getting into music. When did you first start singing and knew that you could say, all right, I'm going to do this? Because it takes other people to recognize. So when did you first start singing?
It was watching Whitney Houston's Welcome Home Heroes performance. It was a concert welcoming back the troops. And I remember just watching that HBO special and I was like, I want to do that. And I burned that VHS into the ground. But I want to say by the time I was 16 years old is when I said I would like to actually like professionally really pursue this. So I think that's when I finally went to my mom and was like, this is what I want to do.
And then also my wife has sung with CNC Music Factory as well. So she's done the songs that a lot of people know. She didn't sing the original record, but if you ever go to a show, you may hear her singing that. I sound terrible doing it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So she sings that, and she does a lot of their hits records. So shout out to Freedom Williams and CNC Music Factory and Leroy that also was like help put that together, manage you then. Can you kind of give us some insight on that, on performing with CNC Music Factory? Because a lot of people will know those records for sure.
Well, the way that came about, once again, this was when I started pursuing music and things like that. So we was trying different groups and things. And I think at that time, they were trying to put together like a Spanish group. It was a Spanish group of girls. And that's how I met Benny, Kevin, Elliot, and also Leroy. And once I met them and they were trying to put me in this group, it's like, I don't know, but they all of a sudden had a different idea for me. And then they wanted me to go solo. But that's how Zelma at the time, which is the original girl from CNC Music Factory, she was expecting a baby. And they needed somebody to take her place while she was, going to be out on maternity leave. Right. And that's how it came about. if I wanted to sing with Freedom for CNC Music Factory. And I'm like, of course, who doesn't? But the big catch for me was hitting those notes, because on the original it's Martha singing and Martha is hitting these notes. And I remember going home like, I don't know if I can hit those notes. And I just went home and I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get this. And sure enough, I was singing things that make you go and all those songs.
She's not necessarily into hip hop records like that, but she knows all the R&B, and then she loves Whitney, and then she sings Celine Dion records. So that gives you an idea of what her range is as far as singing. She can sing Celine Dion records and all those. What's that? Adele. She can sing anything that's in those range records. But also I want to go back a little bit on how we met. So we met at SUNY Westbury College. I was rapping up there. She was singing up there. I lived on campus. She worked on campus. And then it kind of like, you had an event?
It was first, there was a talent show. Okay. This is how it first came about. There was a talent show, and I was like, "Ooh, I should ask him," because he was supposed to be like this fantastic rapper, big stuff, hot stuff. Okay, so I'm like, I'm gonna ask him to perform with me. He was like, "Oh no, everybody's asking me to perform, and I'll just finally want to do this by myself." I was like, "Fine, so go ahead," right? So anyway. Fast forward, then they was having, I think it was called like International Day at the college or something like that. And they asked me to perform. And I said, I'm going to ask him once again. So this time he was like, yeah, I'm down with it. And that was our first performance that we had together.
Yeah. And I saw some of that footage. I may be able to put some of the footage in here, but wow, it's just crazy to see like how digital era now and how it looks. I mean, it's this VHS. So I'll put that in here. So let's talk about your writing process. To show us about the process of writing. So are you writing the traditional way, pen to paper, computer, phone? Do you just go in the booth and sing off the top of your head? How do you come up with the lyrics and why do you start writing on that?
I definitely do not write off the top of my head because my memory sucks. So I used to do pen to paper, but nowadays I'm really on the computer or on my phone. Voice memos really, really help me. If an idea pops in my head, then that's like amazing to me because, like I said, I have a bad memory. But yeah, definitely computer mainly, I want to say, or my phone, because I'm at work. Ideas pop in my head randomly and you just want to get that thought down. Or if you remember a story or saw something that makes you want to dive deeper into creating that story or something. So yeah.
So then as far as like how important is it for you to tell a story when writing a song? Or do you feel, because a lot of times you'll hear songs that don't necessarily tell a story. It might just be kind of maybe pleading for somebody's love, or just kind of saying how they miss somebody, but not necessarily telling how come they miss somebody. So as far as storytelling, where do you rank that at as far as the importance when you're writing? Are you trying to make sure you're as detailed as possible, or what?
Now, when it comes to me writing my own stuff, as far as telling a story, it's kind of funny because sometimes I do tell a story, but there's been times when I write a song and I play it for you and you're like, but you're not really telling a story here. You're not really saying nothing. But I do that out of just trying different things. You know what I mean? Because I've come from also a era of house music. House music is a repetitive thing, a repetitive line or something like that. They're not really, it's a feel-good thing. It's not really a story sometimes they're telling. So sometimes I feel there's no need to really tell a whole story, just throw bits and lines and pieces in there. Like I feel the person gets the gist of what we're talking about here. But yeah, I'm not always fully gonna tell a story, although I come from the era of storytellers. And when I say that, Whitney Houston is a storyteller. Because Diane Foster, when she writes those records, a lot of her records, It's just storytelling. Celine Dion, storyteller. Like you're telling this story as you're singing. So people don't do that so much nowadays, but yeah.
But you also have delved into the world of storytelling with your first album. It's already written. So your first album is kind of like that's entirely a story, right? So you shined away from the story thing a little bit, but you did a whole album dedicated on some
It's
storytelling
like a
stuff.
mini movie, like a little mini play.
So
I
tell us about It's Already Written. That album is out. She put that out some time ago. And then of course she has a new song out. But tell us about that album and what it was like for you to create that song and story.
It's Already Written was kind of scary because, you know, as an artist, you're putting yourself out there. Like we always put ourselves out there, but now I'm putting myself out there myself. You know what I mean? This is the first time somebody's going to see me, my song, my stories, my sound, you know? So I just wanted to portray that story of my struggle from beginning to end. Me starting from the intro, singing as a little girl, and my mom telling me, like, shut up, you're yelling, you know, like, what are you doing? And so I actually have my younger daughter singing at the beginning of It's Already Written. And then leading into auditions, hearing all the no's, and, oh, yeah, you could come back for round two, or, oh, no, we're not interested, you know, dealing with that. Then coming to, you know what, I'm just gonna put it out myself and just go for it and see what happens. You know, what's the worst that can happen now, you know? So it just tells the perfect story to me. I feel it tells the perfect story. Like even the videos. I did a video for every single song because, like I said, it's like a mini play, a mini story. How we started, how we got here, where we at now. And the only song I didn't do a video to was Imagine Life. But yeah, I'm really proud of
What's
It's Already
Free
Written.
Falling?
Free Falling
Free
was the
Falling is
first
like
single.
that's a song that she gets like a good like amount of airplay on for that song, Free Falling. But then also talk, what was it like as far as coming from you did this album pretty much entirely yourself with getting it together. What was it like coming from the era of being coached and produced to you saying, all right, it's already written. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to pick the beats. I'm going to get it mixed. I'm going to get it mastered. Like investing in yourself versus waiting for a record deal. You know, all those times going to the offices that people promise they're going to sign you and then they don't sign you and all these other opportunities. And then now you're like, all right, I'll just take my career in my own hands. So what was it like making the decisions, the production, the mixing, who's mastering, all of that?
When it came to It's Already Written, I think too, actually, I think Franklin helped, now that I think about that, with that project as well. But It's Already Written, when it comes to having someone guide you, because like I said earlier, Kevin and Elliot stayed with me in the studio, showed me what recording was about, showed me what songwriting was about. Harmonies, I'm not good at harmonies, so it was way easier to have someone to sing it to me and tell me, like, here, you should do this, Adanita, something like that. So to do this by myself and not have that guidance was kind of scary, but it's fun at the same time because you get to take different chances and risk and try different things and just freely move, you know. But it's like the best of both worlds because I like the guidance, but at the same time, I like not having the guidance. I don't know, but it was just fun. But Elliot also helps greatly with all my music till this day. He mixed a lot of stuff. He produced a lot of stuff. So yeah, it was just it's the best of both worlds. Like that's the best way
And
to
then
describe
getting that project out, what was the how did you feel like finally releasing did it empower you?
it. You know, I don't know if empower is the right word because it's scary, but it's always scary. Because even now, when I put out High Together, it's still you're putting yourself out there. As an artist, you're just always putting yourself out there. Even though we do this, like every time I go on stage, I'm nervous. Like it doesn't matter how many times I do this, how many times I go out and sing. And even when I go out with CNC Music Factory, even though it's songs that people are familiar with and they know, you're always gonna be, I mean, for me, I'm always nervous. So I don't know about empowering. It just feels good to know that I believed in myself enough to try it and do it and see what happens.
And speaking of believing in yourself, I've been with you for forever, so you can probably expound on your journey of like what it was like as far as auditioning, what it was like for you auditioning for shows. So like, give them some insight about, these TV shows that they've probably seen and watched, and your journey on some of these shows, like what shows you were on.
Now, a lot of people may not remember because everybody knows American Idol, everybody knows The Voice, X Factor. But way before all that, they had a show called Pop Stars. And Pop Stars was looking for a female group. And I actually auditioned right next to Nicole that went on to do the Pussycat Dolls. But from Pop Stars, what came out of that was a group called Eden's Crush. And once again, I was making it through the rounds, but they felt I was too powerful to be in a group. Like they just felt I was better as a solo artist, no matter how much I try to tone it down. But from Pop Stars, once again, I went on to, I'm sure I'm going to say this in the wrong order, because the point is I was just the type of person that I'm going to keep trying. Like I feel I was given this gift for a reason. So I don't ever want to live with, what if I did that? Or I don't want to live with the regret of not trying something, which is what It's Already Written was really all about. Because your path is basically, in my opinion, it's already set. It's already written. You have a gift that was given to you for a reason. So what you're going to do with that gift? If you really want to follow it, it's like in you, it's embedded in you. So you feel you have to do something with it. Because if not, you're just sitting there like antsy, I guess. So anyway, I just wanted to go ahead. I wanted to go ahead and do X Factor, which I did. The Voice did that. American Idol, it was me and Franklin carrying and lugging the sleeping bags or whatever we needed and just laying on the floor so we can have a good space in line, the night before we're laying on the floors for the next morning. It was just trying everything and anything possible just to get out there so I can make sure I say I did it. Can't say I didn't try.
So going back to the writing, what is as far as your preferred atmosphere when writing? Does it matter if it's the morning, daytime, nighttime? The room is nicely lit. Some people like that, the neon lights. Some people like a lot of people around. Some people like nobody around. What do you prefer?
Yeah, timing doesn't matter. Night, day, morning, that doesn't matter. If I have an idea, then I'm just working on that idea. I do need to have quiet just so I can hear what I'm working on, so I can just vibe out to it. That's about it, though. No, because even you and the kids have been around, and as long as I can hear the music and vibe out.
You put your headphones on.
Yeah, just put the headphones on and just vibe out. But time of day doesn't matter.
And how about your revision process? Do you revise, or what you write is what you write?
So, see, Words is a writer, right? And he's a very good writer. But Words is very talented because he's able to revise if he wants to, even if somebody says, let's try this, or he's able to just do that. Me, I'm so stuck in the idea of what I came up with and what I want to talk about or how I want to portray it, that's it. I'm just stuck in that box. Like I feel it can't be portrayed any other way. And he's like, it can be, so he has helped me grow a lot when it comes to that. So there has been some things that I have revised thanks to him making me realize that it's possible. But yeah, I used to be
oh yeah. It was no joke, some arguments over that. I'm like, yo, you wildin', you know. But you know, that's what how we help each other grow with it. So then as far as like along this journey making the song and making the music, as far as do you miss being coached? Like being in the studio with somebody coaching you, or you know.
I'm going to say yes, only because I've never had vocal lessons. So I don't know when I'm sharp, when I'm flat, when I'm there. I don't know. I don't hear that. I don't get that. So everything for me is feel.
Yeah.
So I really, really like to have someone there to tell me, no, that was off, or that wasn't right, or because sometimes I don't know.
I think typically nowadays, because the world has allowed so many artists to just drop music, anybody can drop something. It's more so feel than anything. Because a lot of the kids today would be like, yo, I might be like, yo, I don't really like that song. They'd be like, yo, it's a vibe. It's not necessarily, the tone or whatever now. It's kind of like, is it a vibe? So I think that gives a lot more leeway and freedom. Even though I do like the technical aspect of singing, I know we like the technicalities of it, but I think, you know, that may also stop a lot of people from putting music out because they're going with the technicality so much that they're not being so free. So I think you got to have a good balance of wanting to be free with it and seeing if it sound good despite its following these guidelines and technicalities. I think you still got to, you know, feel free about what you're doing and where you're going with it, you know. But, you know, so do you
But you know, I'm sorry, but you just reminded me though that sure enough, I would let Sean hear it, Sean Lucas, which also very instrumental in my life and my music career. But he would listen back because oh my gosh, anytime I would sing and he would go, ooh, that would be like, that would drive me crazy because it's like, oh my gosh, how can I get this guy not to go, ooh, that was such a challenge for me. But I love the challenge of sending it to him to hear what he has to say, for him to tell me if I'm off or, you know. So he helps a lot as well.
And do you have songs laying around? Like some people got a whole bunch of lyrics written around. You have songs laying around, or you only write to the beat?
Oh no, I have a lot of songs laying around. And it could be that there were tracks for them, but I just don't even, you know what I mean? It's been so long that they just build and I forget and move on to something else or something. But yeah, there's a lot of, I probably got a lot of greatest hits albums out there.
So, all right. So tell us about how we go from, you know, it's already written to this song High Together. And it's not about smoking weed. It's not about drugs. Okay, tell them about the issue that you had with putting this song out, because iTunes or TuneCore.
Oh, they thought it was explicit and wanted me to label it as such. And I had to explain to them it's just metaphor and similes. Like it has nothing to do with, I've never even smoked weed a day in my life. Like it's not anything about that. High is, you know, when you're in love, you're like on cloud nine. You know what I mean? You're so engulfed with this person. So high together is just come be with me. Like, let's both go on cloud nine together. You know, let's just enjoy this high we're on of being in love.
Yeah. And then I was even like having to say, you know, me dealing with the education aspect of things. I was like, well, I got to post it, but I got to post it with some clarity. You know what I'm saying? I can't be posting stuff like that because I've had people ask me to post stuff and it'd be too wild for the night. I'd be like, I can't post that because of what I'm dealing with, whatever the case may be. So it was wild seeing that. Like, you know, it's almost like I wonder if the AI caught that and thought that, or was it somebody that listened to the song?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, and did it like that. So yeah, High Together, that's out on all platform, all streaming services. And then also you've delved into the world of becoming an author.
Oh, yeah.
So she has a book out. All right. The School's Hidden Door, Danae and Sade Adventures.
So that's just basically a kid's book based on our girls, our daughters. And it was just me trying to think of little adventures that they would go on and do. So I really would like to create a series. This was part one. I just haven't started the next adventure yet. I have ideas for it, but then I got into dealing with the music again. Like I flip flop and jump around with ideas that just pop in my head. Because High Together actually came from what was going to be my second EP. But nowadays, I mean, people do still put out EPs, but people really just throw out singles nowadays. And I notice if I throw out the single, I'll get it out quicker instead of trying to create this mini project. You know what I mean? Like It's Already Written was absolutely perfection to me, I think. So the EP that High Together was supposed to be on was going to be called The Story of Us, which was basically how we met and, the growth of all that. But just throwing out the singles, I think, works better. But yeah, I just jump around a lot with ideas. So
and this is available on Amazon, so you can order that. And shout out to people that have ordered it. I've had people be like, "Yo, I got that book your wife put out as well. I read it to my kids during the bedtime stories and stuff like that." So shout out to all the people that have supported and bought the book on Amazon. So what about your social media? How can people reach you? She's been hired also to do verses for people, to write for people, do hooks. So where can people reach you? What's your social media?
Social media is real simple. Instagram.com/Adanita Ross. Same with Facebook, Facebook.com/Adanita Ross. If anything, if it's difficult for you to find, just Google Adanita Ross and I should pop up.
So that's it for today's episode. But I'd like to thank you publicly because I'm telling y'all, you ain't getting me with all of this without having somebody that just holds you down. And she's been with me through the entire adventure from day one. So, I love you and I really appreciate you making sure that I become Wordsworth. Like you made sure I became who I am today. So I love you for that. And the support is can't even describe it. So make sure y'all go check out It's Already Written. All right, that's out there also, all platforms and everything. Make sure you check out High Together as well. Make sure you get the book, The Hidden Door, on Amazon and all of that. The links will be in the description down at the bottom. Make sure you like, comment, share, do whatever you can to support what we got going on. And like I always say, what are your words worth? Peace, y'all. That was good.
I think so.
Sign up now at elevate.miami.edu for my course, Organized Rhyme. Looking at the word legacy, while involving some wordplay, I'll use the first syllable to build upon. We'll use the first syllable, leg. For the second syllable, we'll use an. And for the third syllable, we'll use the word knee. So now we have leg and knee. Can we use it in context with legacy? Let's just see. Wordsworth Productions with a S.com for all merch. I got 2 books available right now. Well, Words Are Worth Volume 1, and I also have a children's book called Socks. Age range from 12 to 15, so it's kind of like the middle school and high school age range, but adults can read it as well.